What's up, YouTube? My name is Midnight Wolf, and today we're doing another episode of my Infamous 3 project. Obviously, this is a fan project, so it's not an official Infamous game, but it is a fan game um, made by the fans and made for the fans. So that's kind of where we're at with this project. It's very early stages of it, but if you've been following along with what we've got going on, you've seen kind of the progress and what all we've added in terms of powers and abilities and that sort of thing. So that's kind of where this episode kind of continues that. And I kind of skipped another week of development because I really didn't get a lot done in the last week. So last week and then kind of the first half of this week is kind of lumped together. But basically, in today's video, I have a new power that I'm going to be showing off. Kind of showing off the weapon system in terms of equipping and unequipping. There's no animations associated with it yet, but you can already tell that there's a new addition to the puppet in terms of his weapons, so we will definitely show that off. But it's a very basic version of the or like placeholders basically, for what the actual weapons will look like. But anyways, so that's going to be explained in the video, and then also a new announcement of a new addition to the team. Alright, so the first thing that you've gonna kind of notice from the previous weeks is I finally gave the puppet a little bit of color. Now, obviously, these are just kind of to give the character some character right now. I mean, it's just kind of a placeholder kind of idea, but you can already kind of see maybe the concept of what the uniform or what the character's outfit might look like. So in terms of a very rough draft version of it, but yeah, so that's the first change. Then you also notice his weapons. So these weapons are inspired by Nightwing's weapons. So and I apologize, there's apparently somebody mowing their lawn right now. But anyways, there is a these weapons are based off of Nightwing's weapons from the DC comics. So they're these like two little rod things that will be able to channel this puppet's powers and use it against his foes. And now the idea of this is you don't have to use these weapons. You can use your fists. And I'll explain that system here in a little bit. But you can also equip these and use these instead of your fists. So the two will be interchangeable, basically. I wanted to give the players kind of that freedom. So anyways, so here's kind of how you equip these weapons. So first you have to go into melee mode. So to get into melee mode, L1 and square, as of right now, is how you get into melee mode. Once you're in melee mode, you can press triangle, and it will equip the weapons. So now they're in my hands. And that being said, I'm not really going to be able to do really show off melee combat until I have an animator for the project. And honestly, I can't really have an animator really work on the animations until I have a sculptor sculpt the main character. So unfortunately, the melee system, this is as far as it's gonna go for right now until I can get other members of this project. So unfortunately, that's kind of where we're at. But to kind of explain kind of the plans for it, so you're gonna have a melee mode, and then you're also going to have default mode. And default mode will also have the option to use melee combat with square. So whenever you tap square, you can do like combos and stuff depending on how many times. But depending on what melee moves you do in default mode will be determined by whether or not you have your weapons equipped. So right now they are equipped in the melee mode, but whenever you go into default mode, you automatically put them on your back. But when you press square during default mode, you're going to do attacks with your weapons. But if you're unequipped, in melee mode, and you go to default mode, and you tap square X amount of times, you're going to do combos with your fists. So there's going to be kind of some options there in terms of how the player wants to play. They can probably play the entire game without the weapons if they want to. And I might even experiment with some skill trees and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe. And there might be like skills that you put into your fists, or there might be skills that you put into your weapons. I don't know. Just something to kind of consider in the future. But anyways, so that's the melee system as of right now. But like I said, that'll be kind of put on the back burner until we can get a sculptor and animator to really get melee combat into the game. So that's the sad news of right now. But who knows, maybe those people will hop on pretty soon after this video, and then we can get started on it sooner than I think. So anyways, so that's those. So far those are the two major things that I kind of worked on a little bit in the previous week. But now the kind of the main ability that I've been working on this week, that I'm pretty proud of in terms of it, because I actually took my knowledge from before and kind of created a new system for this. I mean, I'm sure other people have figured this sort of thing out, but I'm pretty proud of it because I did it without watching any YouTube videos. I straight up just created the system on my own. But basically, there is an ability from Infamous 1 that didn't carry over into Infamous 2, but you can only access that ability if you're Infamous, if you're the bad version of Cole McGrath. And so it's called Arc Lightning, and it behaves sort of similar, but I mean it's not 100% yet. But here, let's just show it off real quick. So if you're aiming and you hold L1 and then you press the zap button, which is L2 if you're in left-hand mode, you do kind of an arc ability, and you notice it also affects the drain. And now if you hold L2 to bring up your right hand, and then hold R1 and then hold R2, then it does kind of an arc on the right hand. Now the right hand's a little bit bugged a little bit. It doesn't arc the way that I'm really wanting it to, so that will definitely take a little bit of tweaking to get right. But that's essentially what we've got going on in terms of the arc abilities. So yeah, and also to kind of show that off real quick, you can also it hurts enemies when you use it too. So if you're shooting this enemy, it actually kills them. So that's kind of another important element of it. And I kind of balanced it based off of it almost is perfect timing where it completely drains at the expense of one enemy. Now that being said, right now in the current iteration of it, you can actually affect 3 enemies at one time, if they're close enough to it. So that, I don't know, that it kind of works. But that's kind of what we got going on so far with the Arc Lightning ability. It needs a sound effect, of course, but of course I'll get to that eventually. But yeah, that's what we've got so far in terms of the last couple weeks developments. And then now on to the announcement. So I mentioned, I think in my last video, that a person commented on my video, on one of my previous videos, to suggest that I do something through the super speed. Well, that same exact person actually joined the team as another concept artist, and he is called Murder Panda. So thank you so much, Murder Panda, for joining this project, and I definitely look forward to seeing some of the art that you do. And also another thing that he wants to do is he wants to do some voice acting. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see what kind of character that we can kind of get him paired up with in the future. But of course that's a much later part of the development process. So once we have the game more like a game and stuff, and we have the story kind of completely written out and the dialogue written out and all of that stuff, then we can really kind of dial in on kind of what character his voice would really match well with. So thank you once again, Murder Panda, for joining this team, and I'll definitely look forward to seeing what all you do for this project, and I think there's going to be some great things coming from this new member. There we go. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. And if you liked this video, please leave a like, because that will help this project out. That's kind of why I'm posting these videos on YouTube, is so that way it helps this project really get some momentum, and that sort of thing. So liking these videos and commenting on these videos as well, and even subscribing to this channel will help this non-profit game kind of gain some traction in terms of the public view. So that's what I'm hoping to achieve with this project, is for people to see it and get excited about it. I mean, because I'm really wanting to satisfy the Infamous fans out there. I know they're kind of really wanting a new Infamous game, so I'm trying to kind of hit that excitement, and I hope I do it justice, and I hope our team does it justice. So we are still growing. We still need a bunch of other roles, sculptors, animators, music and sound design, and even maybe other coders too, to kind of help me out, because right now I'm not really a coder. I've pretty much, through YouTube videos and a bunch of other things, have kind of learned the ropes on logic on here, but I'm certainly not perfect, and I definitely need help in that department to kind of polish everything and get everything ready to go. So yeah, so if you are interested in this project and want to see it come to life, and you're good at any of those roles that I have put out there, or if you have any other roles that you think could contribute to it, like concept arting was something that I didn't even really mention before, but the two guys that I have are part of our concept art team, so they're doing such a fantastic job, and I definitely look forward to seeing what more they have created for this project. But yeah, so if there's any other roles that you think that I did not mention that you think are great for this project, please come by, or leave a comment and say that you're interested, and we'll get you hooked up and placed in a good spot for this project. So anyways, all that to say, have a wonderful day. Bye.